You are welcome here. You're welcome to this place, to this moment. You're welcome inside of you, inside of yourself. Have you welcomed yourself today? Facebook, YouTube, IG. Have you welcomed yourself today? When you woke up this morning, if you're just waking up, did you take a moment to just welcome yourself to this place, to this new day, this new birth? Hmm. If you haven't done it, even if you did, take another moment to just welcome yourself, to create the space for you to be more, to show up, to shine. Because you're a light, so whether you know it or not, you have the responsibility to shine. So if you're not shining, it's okay. As long as you're clear why you're not shining. And once you're clear why you're not shining, it's all good. Because your awareness itself, just want to make sure that we have sound. Oh, I need to double check over here. Yep, that's fine. So, oh yeah, we got sound. We got sound. We good. So your awareness itself is the healing. I know. Hey, Jackie, how are you? Yeah, if I don't have sound on YouTube, you would tell me, Jackie. Hmm. I want to. I think right now I'm feeling like I want to pace myself with this show. But halfway through the show, I don't know what's going to happen. So, what I'm going to say is I feel like I've said it, but I haven't said it. I don't think I have. Good morning. No, I haven't. Good afternoon, good evening, good night, and good day to you. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, however you're experiencing this thing called life, wherever you are in consciousness, I welcome you. I invite you to show up for yourself fully. And as you show up for yourself fully, you can't help but tune in. So thank you for tuning in to yourself. Tuning in inside of ourselves sometimes is a scary journey because we never know what we're going to find. And the greatest journey you will ever take is the journey inward because the way in is the way out. And sometimes you go in and you think, I'm in, I moved in. I gave up my apartment, my house, my condo, my mansion. I've been in for the past 20 years and I still can't get out. There's more for you to develop in this inwards journey. And as you tune in, you can tune into other people's conversation. You can tune into this podcast. You can tune into exactly what you need for you. So much so that I might say something and you will hear it differently, but you will swear I said it. And it will be exactly what you need to hear. Because life knows what we need. Life knows what you need. Life knows what I need. And as we tune in and we listen, we create the space. We make it possible for us to have a transformation, which is not always easy. So today we're saying let love be. And love sometimes is just, oh, love, I don't know, love, I don't do love. Whew. Yeah, well, we're talking about the next level of love. Yeah, all that lovey dovey, feeling fuzzy, all of that is accepted, is allowed. But today, we want to talk about mature love. I can't see the. Oh, that's a different post. I just saw a notification on IG and I don't see the person who made the comments. I'm like, I don't see the post, but it's on a post that I have. And I may reference it. I don't have it on Facebook, but if you're following me on IG, Life Coach Ade, Life Coach ADE, or Being You podcast on IG, well, actually, yeah, you see it on there. Check it out. I may talk about it today. We'll see. But anyway, let me slow down. Speaking of slowing down, right? I am Ade, your transformational beingness artist. Welcome to another episode of Ade Presents Being You, the journey back to yourself. And this is the place, this is the space where I remind you to always come back to yourself, to take a moment and take a breath Take it because it's been given to you. When you take that breath consciously, you can't help but give it consciously, willingly, involuntarily, because you take the breath and the breath takes you away with it. So you allow the breath to come in, you take the breath, and as you breathe out, the breath takes you away into the ethers, into the all that is, into this world, and connects you with something bigger than you, something more than you. And as you allow the breath to take you away, you're actually being replenished as well. It's a cleansing process. When you stop to breathe, you're cleansing your mind, you're cleansing your heart, you're cleansing your inner self, your inner being. You're grounding yourself to catch a new thought, a new awareness, a new understanding, because every day will bring you an opportunity to grow. Even if it's just for a moment, even if someone cut you off while you're driving, maybe somebody's at work, maybe you watch something on the news, maybe something on social media. There is always an opportunity for you to learn and grow. But the choice is yours. And what you do, how you do that, you can start with a simple affirmation that I often share I actually share it all the time now. I am present, I am here, I am now. I am present. You take a moment to say that to yourself, whatever you're moving through, whatever you're going through and growing through. I am present. I am here. I am now. Words are powerful because they come from a place deeper than your understanding. If you go inside of yourself, you're not going to hear these words. Like if I go inside myself, I won't hear these words as I'm speaking. These words are coming together because I have a thought. And there's air, there's breath. My muscles and my tongue and my teeth are doing everything they need to do to produce, to give birth to this word, the words that I'm speaking. So every word is charged with movement. It's charged with an idea. It's charged with a thought. So when you speak words of high vibration, when you speak words of truth, the truth in you, the truth as you, the part of you that knows that truth is your essence, gets excited. So when you say an affirmation like, Coach Kaz Thomas, I think I'm pronouncing your name right, Chaz, maybe. When you say words like, affirmation like, but it's words, powerful words, that is true, and you're claiming for yourself, I am present, I am here, I am now. You're literally joining with divine force, a force that is beyond definition. Now, that might not work for you. You might find yourself saying, I say it, but I don't feel nothing. Find what works for you. And if you don't know the words that works for you, take a moment to ask the great I am. Give me the words that I need that will recharge me when I feel lonely, when I feel depressed, when I feel afraid. And you may get it in that moment or you may not. But trust that it is coming. So in the meantime, if you don't have it, trust. I am present. I am here. I am now. And your desire to catch a new understanding of yourself, a new understanding of life, and using what you've got would inspire something more. I want to invite you to like and share. Hey, Kwali, nice to see you. To like and share the show on social media, Facebook, YouTube, IG. Let your folks know you're here. Let them know you're present and let them know you're now. This is season 4, episode 33. Today is Tuesday, September 20th, 2022. Today is the day where I would be telling you this is the last show of this episode, the last episode of season 4, should I say. But anyway, I'll tell you more about that in a minute. One of the things that this place and this space is created for is to give you an opportunity to take a look at yourself, to define for yourself what it means to be you. Because there are many aspects to us. There are times when we don't show up. There are times when we do show up. Well, there are times when we lie. There are times when we tell the truth. There are times when we betray others and ourselves, and then there are times we're loyal. There are times we do things and we're like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. And then other times where we do things and we say, oh, I feel good doing that. And then sometimes you don't even want to say that out loud because, like, well, I don't want to think. I don't want people to think I'm blowing my own horn. But sometimes when we make a mistake, it seems like when we make a mistake, when we flip up, you know what I mean by flip up. But it probably will come out later on. Right now, we're starting slow. When you flip up, you might be telling someone, I can't believe I did that. Girl, man, that was ridiculous. I shouldn't have done that. And we just go on and on and on. That's part of the conversation today. Let love be. But we'll talk more about that. So, as this invitation is to ask yourself, who are you? How do you see yourself? How do you see the world? How do you see yourself in the world? And how do you see the world in you? For those of you who are new, I'll say that slowly. How do you see yourself? Have you ever asked that question of yourself? Like self, me self, not myself, me self. How do I see myself? How do I see myself? How do I see this world? You know, I find myself being led to videos on Facebook for a while now. It's actually been a while. I was going to say the last few weeks, but now it's been a few months. But that's also because, you know, the algorithms. Whatever you watch, it's going to show more of that. And I watch not just people behaving badly, because that's kind of like you can say people behaving badly, but there's something in them that is forgetting something about them to remind them who they are. Sometimes the videos are videos of police officers who are just abusive because they're wearing the uniform or because they have the badge, the way they talk to people. Sometimes it's people, just ordinary people, confronting another person. Now, of course, there are other videos that I see that just takes my breath away that I have to share. But I find myself looking at some of the things that people are doing. It's not new. We see it on a global scale. And I just find myself thinking, what? Why? How? When? What happened to you to make you think that's okay? And we may be able to eradicate that. I don't know. But I'm going to tell you more about what I know. So when I look at the world, how do I see the world? I see it's like there's a mixture of a lot of things. People who are caring, well, people who are caring and people who are not. And sometimes those who are not caring today might be caring tomorrow. And the one that was caring today was uncaring. And all of us are dealing with our own battles, our own demons, if you want to call it that. And if we can't be with the demons, if we can't be with our own battles, our own satisfaction, well, unsatisfaction, unfulfillment, one way or the other, we're going to project it. Because anything that's causing you pain that you don't transform, that you don't heal, you don't transform it, you're going to transmit it. You will. Just by default. Sonia Hulu. I hope I'm saying your name right. Dre is in the house. Welcome. Welcome aboard. So you get to ask yourself, how do I see myself? How do I see the world? How do I see myself in the world? And how do I see the world in me? Today's topic, today's theme, today's conversation is let love be. Love is a word that's overused. The word itself is overused. And I'm going to take a chance and say, but the practice, the demonstration of love is not as overused as the word. Now, I could be wrong, but the way I'm seeing things, I think we don't really demonstrate love, apply love the way We say it. We say it a lot, whether it's through religious institutions, spiritual circles, centers. We talk about love. But when we spend time with love, some things might come up that we're not ready to deal with. And you might say, well, how can you say when you spend time with love, some things are going to come up that you don't want to deal with? Stay with me. Stay with me. What I will say right now is, as I was saying earlier, that this is season 4, episode 33. And this would be a time for me to say this is the last episode of this season. And season 5 will be starting, I don't know, next week, next whatever. That's not what I'm saying. Don't get it twisted. And, when the season change, the seasons of the show, I generally just maybe miss a week, if that, and just roll into the next week. Generally, I just roll into the next week, the next season. And I think someone asked me a while back, and I said, I just usually start over. The seasons officially, go up to episode 33 episodes. And I told you that I was working to get someone who I hadn't heard back from. And if they showed up, if I hear back from them, then there will be a bonus bonus episode. Well, I didn't hear back from them, but there is a bonus episode. Because putting that thought out, I love it. When I was talking about words earlier, I know what I want to say, and I'm taking my time to say it because I want to say it in the best way I know how. Yeah, here it is. When you have an intention, when you're clear about your intention, when there's something that's so clear in your mind and you speak the word, somehow it comes to be, it shows up. It unfolds, it manifests. You attract it. Now, there are times where I can say, I was clear about my intention and it didn't. Why? I don't know. Sometimes maybe I doubted it as soon as I had the thought. But what I can say is because I spoke the word at a very low level, at a very simplistic level, because I spoke the word and held the vision that I wanted to interview this other person, they joined with me unknowingly to create a bonus episode. I'm talking about what's happening next week, and I'm using it as a teaching tool because life is a teacher. We can learn from life in all kinds of ways. So the person I was holding space for did not get back to me. However, I made connection with somebody else. And the connection actually happened through one of the beautiful listeners, Ashley. So thank you once again, Ashley, for the connection. During the show, she told me that she heard to recommend someone to me. And I was like, oh, okay, well, connect us. And then life happened the way it did. I end up reaching out to this person. It's not a secret. I'm going to get to it. But I just want you to stay before your mind starts trying to figure out stuff. It just feels right to say it this way. So she said, yeah, reach out to her. And I recognized I didn't have her number. You figure as a woman, of course. And so, then Ashley told me she's quite responsive on Facebook. Maybe I shouldn't have said that out loud, but I'm sure she's okay. So I sent her a message and I got her details. And she was going to join me this week, but she has quite a lot going on today. And I just thought, let's do it next week. And she said, yeah, that next week is better. Well, you may know her. She had a she had a TV show. She may have had a radio show. I don't know. She had many TEDx conversation. It's just amazing. She's always telling stories, always reminding us of what is true, what is essential, reminding us about our essence, our innocence and inner essence. Her name is Bertice Berry, Dr. Bertice Berry. If you want to find out more about her, if you don't know the name, first of all, I'm going to tell you that you will be more than inspired. You'll be inspired, you'll be lifted. Her website address is Bertice Berry Now, because she knows that she's present, she's here, and she's now. Bertice, BERTICE, Berry Now.com. She's the author of many books. She is just a powerful sister. So she's going to be joining me next week. Next week for a bonus. That's going to be a bonus episode, and I am excited. I'm excited about what we're going to talk about too. But check her out. If you have any questions after watching, listening to her, let us know. So next week will be the final episode. The bonus episode will be the ending of season 4. Season 5 will be next year, 2023. I know that sounds like a long time, isn't it? September now. So we got October, November, and December. So about 3 months. 3 months for me to work on some other things that I'm working on and need to complete, to regroup, to rethink about the direction of the podcast. As I know it now, season 5 will be here next year. But between that time, that's a long time to download different ideas. That's a long time for a lot of things to happen. There's some things I'm working on right now. One particular thing that I'm excited about that I've mentioned many times that I got tired of mentioning, I just shut up. So the closer I get to it, when I know that, yep, I'll let you know. So I'll be back January 2023 and the second Thursday of the month, which is the 10th. So put that in your calendar or not, you know. What else do I want to tell you? Yeah, I want to read Daily Thoughts because the Daily Thoughts inspired today's show. And the Daily Thought inspires today's show. The Daily Thought represents what I'm going through and growing through. And thank you, Drea. Yeah, I'm looking forward to being with Dr. Bertice too. I've interviewed her before. She's a member of Hillside International Truth Center in Atlanta, Georgia, and she used to come regularly. And oh my God, when she comes, you know you're going to learn, you're going to laugh, you're going to cry because she comes from a deep place. So if you want to check out her website again, it's berticeberrynow.com. Let me just confirm that. I know it is because I just looked it up. But I would definitely, just Google her. She's Googleable. You know how that goes. But let me do it now. It's a good moment to just stop and breathe. Oh, what the heck? What the flippity flop is going on here? In my Tony Baker voice, those of you and I do would know Tony Baker. Yes. Bertice Berry Now. And she has on her website, when you walk with purpose, you find destiny. Whew. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. What does that mean? Does that mean those who don't know what their purpose is can't find destiny? We'll find out. All right, Daily Thoughts. Daily Thoughts is a monthly inspirational, daily inspirational. Quali, are you going back and forth? Oh, no, yeah, you are going back and forth, but you're here now. It's a monthly inspirational healing meditation that is published by Hillside International Truth Center. I am one of the authors. I wrote for this month, September. I write now every time I have to think about it. every 3 times a year. There are other writers, 3. So altogether there's 4 of us. And today's affirmation, Tuesday, September 20th, 2022, the affirmation is, I yield to breaking open. Now, I wonder how many people read that this morning or whenever you're reading it, or maybe you read it before because you had the daily thoughts. few days, maybe before the month of September. You think, I don't know about this day breaking open thing. Just stay with me. Breaking open is actually a prayer. It's actually an answered prayer. But stay with me. Let me read it. Let me stay with me and read the daily thoughts before I go into it. I yield to breaking open. One of the many processes of revealing the face of God is by being open. Being open for love to shine through. It is helpful to allow our hearts to break open during unprecedented times, like the ones we are currently growing through. Take a deep breath. This may seem counterintuitive. However, to consciously allow our hearts to break open is to choose to be loving healers. Healers dedicated to healing hearts. I take a deep breath and tune into spirit. I listen to what is mine to do. I am obedient to the insight I receive. Let me read that again. I listen to what is mine to do. I am obedient to the insight I receive. With a grateful open heart, I surrender to what arises. I know that divine order is guiding me. I lead with love. I heal as I grow. I have nothing to fear, for God is with me. Thank you, order in me, through me, as me, around me, through the Christ within, and so it is. And the scripture is, in God is my salvation and my glory. God is my strength, my refuge, and my hope. Psalm 62:7. That's from the Aramaic version. So if you read the King James version, you might say that sounded different. Well, it's the Aramaic version. And we are told that that's the language Jesus spoke. It wasn't English. So the minute you translate a language, a different language into English, you lose some of the meaning. You lose some of the essence. You miss some of the cultural references. I don't know why I'm saying that, but I just feel to share that. What I will say is, as we all are experiencing, we're experiencing a different reality. Things are different. Things are sometimes difficult. Things are overwhelming. There's so much coming at us. You know, there are people who say people are just checking out. There's more people checking out right now than ever before. I don't know if that's true. People are going to check out when it's time to check out. And if there is a space where people, let's say there's maybe a year where you're not seeing a lot of people checking out, people are growing up, right? People are they're becoming older, or life is happening, because it's not, sometimes you don't have to be older to die. You just have to be alive. And the fact that we're alive, we're going to die. So if you don't know, I haven't heard of people dying, and it doesn't seem like maybe the death process is moving slow, well, there might just come a time where it looks like it's back to back. And for those of you with it comes in threes. Okay. Okay. I don't know how I got on that topic, but okay. It's about letting love be. Whether it comes in threes or fours or fives or ones or twos or tens, let love be. What does that mean? Well, we are moving through unprecedented time. What is this? We've never lived this before. No human being has lived what we're living right now. There's so many things that's happening that we're just like, did, did that really happen? Did he say that out of his mouth like that? Did he really say that? Did she do that? Wow. What is happening to people? Well, what I believe is there's an increase in the vibration on the planet. There's an acceleration taking place. And the acceleration is not happening outside of us. We're actually part of the acceleration. Our wanting, our needing, our desire, our seeking to know more, to be more loving, to be more kind, to be more gentle is actually causing all of this to happen. Hmm. You are welcome. I don't know who you are on Facebook because sometimes Facebook and StreamYard refuse to work together and they just say, it says Facebook user. My sense is that, oh, I know what it is. You, whoever it is, you are on my Life Coach Ade page. So you could either change your name by, let me do this because sometimes I give it out StreamYard.com. I think it's /Facebook. Yeah, and see what I'm typing. Let's see. Yeah, that's it. That's it. StreamYard.com /Facebook. Type that and then just follow the prompt. So that way, when you comment, I can see your name. I want to say, I'm feeling I might be wrong, but I feel like I want to say, is it Cheryl? No, yeah, Cheryl. No, is it Cheryl? I think so. I'm saying, is it Cheryl thinking about the name? If I'm saying the name that I want to say, not that I'm like, is it Cheryl? Is it Cheryl? Is it Cheryl? No. But anyway, where was I? So we're living in a time where things are shifting. We've never lived this before. And what we're experiencing just feels sometimes confusing. What for me is I feel like we are new beings. We are not who we are. We are not who we were 2 years ago. Now, we're always changing, of course, but we've been changed fundamentally. And the change happened because we've been praying, we've been affirming, we've been downloading, we've wanted to develop a connection with God, with the divine, with universe, source energy, whatever name you call it. There's been a desire. There's been so much injustice, so much oppression, so much abuse that we know it doesn't have to be that way. So we summoned energy, the energy of love, the energy of truth. Like, why is this happening? So whenever we ask the question, whenever we pray, whenever you just want something to be better, you're turning up the vibration of the planet because you're turning up yours. You're opening yourself up. When you open yourself up, you allow love to flood and rush through you. And because we're allowing more love to flow through us, move through us, it is important to be aware that we have a responsibility to let love be. Hey, Keisha. We have a responsibility to let love be. What does that mean? To let love be invites you to allow yourself to break open. I oftentimes share my story. And sometimes I'm like, why do I have to say that out so loud? But I also know that the teachers who inspired me, who supported me on my healing journey, and I'm going to say just like this, they told the truth about their journey. They told the truth. So when they shared the struggles that they were having, it helped me recognize and realizing that all things are possible, that it's possible for me to be the highest expression of what I'm feeling in my body. Like, just because I'm in this place where I'm struggling doesn't mean I can't show up fully. So, speaking of let love be, there are times when I'm guided to share a personal story or what I'm going through or growing through. And there's a human side of me that wants to go, oh, I don't want to say it. And sometimes I don't have that. Sometimes it comes, I share it, and then later on I'm like, did I say too much? Should I have said that? you know. But hey, it's coming to share, I will share it. And when I'm not meant to share it, I get distracted or I move on to something different. One of my prayer today, as I was preparing for this show, this is all part of letting love be, right? Was God help me get through this show. And why did I pray that prayer? Because I don't know how to explain it. I'm going to give you a definition of love and what I'm working with so that we're on one accord. I've always loved love. I've always loved the idea of love. I've always been drawn to love from childhood. There's something about love. There was a time when we moved back to America from UK. We had an internet radio here in UK, and then we moved to um, Atlanta, Georgia, and eventually we started to the radio show. It was Life Conversations Radio. So we moved Life Conversations Radio, which was an internet thing, onto something called a platform called Blog Talk Radio. Blog Talk Radio is a Blog Talk Radio. It's a website based. In UK, we had the station, we had the studio, which was like, oh my God, one of my greatest achievements. You've heard me say it, most of you who listen regularly. I won't even go into that because it would take me somewhere else. And I remember during that time on Blog Talk Radio as Life Conversations Radio, sometimes I didn't want to say love. I didn't want to say God. I didn't want to use those words because, particularly around love, there was a part of me that felt like, I don't want people to think I'm talking about something simple. I wanted to reach the listeners. So I want to speak to things that sounds big, that sounds profound. I don't want people to think I'm just talking about love. Clearly, I had my judgment about love and I was projecting it on others. I didn't want to use the word God because I didn't want people to think I was Christian. Or I'm not Christian, but I am Christian. I am Muslim. I am an atheist. I am Buddhist. I am whatever religions out there because I am one with it all. At that time, I had some judgments about Christianity. Yes, Facebook user, it is all about love. You didn't tell me your name. Or else you're just Facebook user. Unless you want to be incognito. Incognito? Yeah. Anonymous is what I was thinking, but I said something else. Yeah, that's fine too. I didn't want to talk about love because in my mind I was thinking people think he ain't talking about nothing. All he's talking about is love. And I had a little bit of that because, when you talk about love, like, yeah, love. Now, most of the shows that I do that gets the most listens, viewings, it's when it's around sex. Yeah, that one is always number one, right? Money, which is interesting because I'm working with a book, which is Sex and Money, the book. Anyway, I'm going to read something from the book. I'm trying to see. Politics is another one that gets a lot of listens. And then, like, open relationship. And Nitra, there you are. Thank you for letting me know. Then open relationships. Because people have a judgment of it. People want to know about it. People want to be in it. People love the idea. And some people are like, why the hell would you want to be in an open relationship? We just got a lot of confusion about open relationships. We have confusion about love. Sex, I meant to say. We have confusions about love. Why do I keep saying that? Okay, we have confusions about love, but I was trying to make a different point. But I guess I'm supposed to say that. There's confusion around love. So we think love is in a box, or it only shows up in a relationship, romantic relationship, or just parental relationship. we forget, particularly in the Western world. Well, let me say, when in the English language, where love is love, love for car, love for your friend, love for your food, love for your hair, love for love. But when we're talking about agape love, brotherly love, parental love, that's a whole different conversation because it helps the mind understand the love that we share with our beloved, those you're in a relationship with, romantic relationship with. It's the same love you share with your child. Love is love is love, no matter how you put it. Now, how you express that love is different. How you express love is love, but you choose how you express that love. So I didn't want to talk about love because I didn't want people to think I'm talking about something simple about love. I was like, oh, I want to talk about something that's antagonizing. It's going to get people talking. I never had a desire to talk about it. Housewife shows. When you see shows like that, radio shows, podcasts, or whatever, Clubhouse, you go on that, or the fight between men and women, or black men and black women, white people and black people. Oh my God, we have a lot to say. We're talking about parents whose kid did something. Maybe a kid killed somebody, and we blame the parents, and the problem is the parent. It's the parent. We know how to beat each other up. We know how to beat the living love out of each other. But there's confusion around love. And every day I find that I continue to learn about love. So why did I say earlier, help me get through the show? Because I'm going through and growing through a breaking up open process. And every day is a challenge. Every day is a challenge. I had a thought today, like, maybe I shouldn't have done the show. And I say every day is a challenge. The level, the intensity of the challenge is different because it's been ongoing since July, really. July is when I went through this break open process. So, and now what did Burtis Berry say? What did I read earlier? When you find your purpose. Now, I want to go to a page in the game because that actually just reads right for me. Because when you are on purpose, your purpose, your reason for being, when you walk with purpose, you find destiny. I believe that's what pulls me forward, like a vision. This work, what I'm here to do, knowing it and committing to it, keeps me walking every day, keeps me moving every day. Thank you, Ashley. Yeah, I know. When I read it too, I kind of stumbled because she used to say, when you walk, thank you, Ashley, for saying that. When you walk, so let's see. I know I've been flashing some of their statements. Keisha said, yes, it's all about love. And Ashley said, quoting Dr. Bertice Berry, when you walk with purpose, you collide with destiny. She didn't put that, that's not how she has it on her website, but yes. And when you collide with your destiny, last week I talked about pain and suffering and struggle. When you collide, when you're working with purpose, it doesn't mean stuff ain't going to happen in your life. But destiny, the reason you're here, will continue to pull you forward. So allowing love to being a stand for love, to allow your heart to heal so you can be the healer that heals heart, you've got to break open. I talked earlier about there's the intensity, the energy, the vibration of the planet is intensified because we're praying, we're affirming. Every day we pray to the God of our own understanding. We are opening ourselves up for deeper energy, higher vibration, expanded consciousness. So there is a book called The Revealing Word. It's published by Unity. They have a different name. I'm still defining them. But it was started by Charles and Myrtle Filmer. And The Revealing Word is a dictionary of metaphysical terms. Now, I have an old copy. Let's see. Those of you in IG can see this. But if you... Oh, I can't... I was like, why don't I see it on this? The Revealing Word. A dictionary of metaphysical terms. So when there's a word that you're used to, particularly spiritual qualities, like word like purpose, destiny, divine, the divine mind, love, power. It gives you the metaphysical meaning. What's the metaphysical meaning? What does that mean? The metaphysical meaning is beyond the dictionary.com definition. Like, what does that mean beyond the surface? Like, what is love beyond what you feel, beyond romance, beyond somebody breaking your heart? What is the true essence of love? Okay, well, I'm going to read it to you. I'm going to give you a short version because it's an elaborate definition in the book. Love is the pure essence of being that binds together the whole human family. Love is the pure essence of being that binds together the whole human family. The whole human family. The people you can't stand, the oppressor and the oppressed, the colonizer and the colonized, your ex and your side chick, your side dude. Love binds you together. Now, if you don't want to bind together with them, you can choose to refuse love to be a part of your way of being. But when you restrict love, you restrict yourself. When you restrict love, you start to feel fear. You start to feel hate. There's more. Love is the power that joins and binds in divine harmony the universe and everything in it. Love is the power that joins and binds in divine harmony the universe and everything in it. The great harmonizing principle known to man, and I say human, woman, and man. It is the great harmonizing principle known to humans. Love is a force. Love is a power. Love is your nature. So when you find yourself saying, should I not do, I wish I wasn't doing today's show. Maybe I should have done today's show because that's what I said. Maybe I should have. It's like you allow yourself, mothers, let me just stop for a minute. I don't talk about myself, but let me talk about mothers. Mothers demonstrate this so much, so effortlessly. Women demonstrate this so effortlessly, but maybe I shouldn't say effortlessly. Maybe there is effort, but mothers do it. Women have a way of pushing forward. Mothers have a way of pushing forward, even when they feel like they don't even have enough for themselves. They push forward to get their child what he needs, what she needs. Love is that force that keeps you going when you want to give up. Love is that force that gives you, that push you forward when you're like, I hate my job. Love empowers you to keep trying, to keep showing up. Society will tell you, you better give it up. Sometimes you got to give it up. But love will remind you. Love will remind you, will nudge you. So if you want more love, you got to break open. Let me see what Keisha said here. Keisha said, just as Jesus says, just as you do unto the least of these, you do unto me. We are all connected, whether we like it or not. I like that part. Whether we like it or not. Yes. Yes. Jesus is one of those prophets, teachers, metaphysicians who demonstrated a true example of what love is. And for those of us who didn't live in the time of Jesus, other people that demonstrated that, my defaults, the people I go to, it's Mandela, Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, Mother Teresa, Gandhi. Now, it's not to say other people are not doing it. It's not to say you're not doing it. I'm not doing it. We're not doing it. I think every one of all those people that I named and the ones I didn't name, whether you want to talk about Oprah, Maya Angelou, Barack Obama, some of you may disagree. I'm talking about people that we know publicly, people that are known internationally. They did at different levels. But we're all, not only do we have the capacity to love, we're always doing it. We may pick and choose when we do it, but we sort of forget that that is the mission. That is the purpose. When you walk with purpose, you collide with destiny. Your purpose is to love, is to allow love, that high vibration, that high frequency, to give of yourself without compromising yourself. That's the trick. Francine said, I love it and I love you. I love you too, Francine. Breaking up, let me go back to the daily thoughts. Those of us who are living right now, you're listening, people you know that are not listening, all of us are going through some kind of break open process. There's a lot going on when so-called leaders do stupid ass shit stuff, like playing with the life of humanity, trafficking people to one state to the other. So-called leaders will stand by and allow gas companies, electric companies, multinational companies, increase their services while people are struggling to even pay the bill right now. I don't even know how I got on that. I felt like pulling myself back. It's like, but it's real. So I'm going to do a segue, and I'll probably catch up with what I'm trying to say. There it is. When we see that it does break our heart, we sometimes are tempted, think we have to choose sides. We choose sides by saying we're not connected to that person, like Keisha said. Whether we like it or not, we're connected. We're connected to the Prime Minister in UK, whether she wants to take care of the rich or not. I'm connected to her. You're connected to her. Whether you want to connect with you don't want to connect with the governor of Florida or all the other ones in Texas and things they're doing. Now, of course, I'm talking from if I was to claim, because even politics, I'm talking more from a progressive side, if you will, because I don't want to claim them Democrat. Politics is an interesting thing, but politics without deep love is dangerous. We can mistreat people, we oppress people when love is missing. Injustice is a lack of love. Hate is an absence of love. It's somebody choosing not to be loving because they forgot who they are. And when we experience that, when we watch that, when we see that, it breaks us open. And sometimes because we weren't conditioned, we weren't taught to be with pain. We associate pain as something bad, and it feels uncomfortable. It's too much. We want to push the pain away. So when someone causes pain, we blame them. We judge them because they are the reason we are feeling what we're feeling. It's this person that did this to me. Yes, I'm not saying let them off the hook, but the pain you are feeling is yours. It's yours. It's mine. It's ours. The question is, what are we going to do with this pain? The pain is there because there's an expansion. There's a constriction going on. So whether you're just going to breathe into it and allow the pain to bring you to a place where you're facing destiny. And you may find yourself quitting your job. You may find yourself moving to another country. You may find yourself going to another country, protesting for something that people are saying, that's just dumb. To be quite frank, there are people who left UK, left America, went to Ukraine to fight the war, and they're not even in the military. And I'm like, why? I don't understand it, but I'm sure they have a reason to do what they were doing. Just like we all have a reason to do what we do. if I'm from Ukraine, I might be like, oh, I'm so grateful for them. If it was happening in Nigeria, if there's war in Nigeria, well, there is war in Nigeria, but they just don't highlight it. And if they highlight it, they'll highlight it in a way that makes you think, yeah, those savage. But if it's happening in a country where people are white, then that's portrayed differently. Then we want to fund the country. We want to support the country because we're afraid of the Russians. Even all of that. I was watching a video and it was talking about, yeah, recently actually, about this whole thing about oil in Nigeria and when the British colonized Nigeria. And I guess it was a video that wasn't supposed to be out in public, and it is. And part of the reason they were doing what they were doing, the British, is because they were trying to get to the oil and they didn't want Russia to get to it. Somehow, we create enemies because we think we're not connected to them. And because we see another as an enemy, we're always fighting wars. And we take sides, and the minute we take sides, we're closing the door on love. You don't have to agree with people you disagree with, whether they're political leaders, your brother, your sister, your neighbor, but you can still let love be through and as you. What does that look like? Let's make it easier. Let's make it easier. Because sometimes that might be too far for people. That might be too much. Like, yeah, I don't know. I knew during the Donald Trump era, there was a friend, many times we had the conversation. Up until this day, she would call herself a light worker and she's loving. And she is. But when she starts spewing out the things that she's saying, I'm like, yes. And you're connected to him. You say you're a light worker. How are you going to extend your love? And she would say, no, I know, but I just can't. I just can't. Sometimes when we say we can, it's because we don't want our heart to break open. For good reason, because when your heart is breaking open, sometimes it's consciously. No. You can, yeah, okay, let me say it this way. When your heart is breaking open, it's almost like you didn't get the memo. But when you become aware that your heart is breaking open, there are things you can do consciously to allow the process. If you breathe into it, if you allow it, no matter how bad they treated you, whether you're convinced that person is evil, if you allow yourself to stay open, you will be guided. You will be inspired. You will know what to do. And I'm not talking about you may be inspired to go give them a hug. You may be inspired to have a real conversation that normally you wouldn't have had. I had another conversation a few days ago. I told you about the conversation I had last week and what I needed to do for my health and well-being, taking action. A conversation I had with someone last week was to unfollow them. It's like, we don't even need to connect if you don't value a relationship. Recently, I got another message because I have made a point with myself, to myself, that I'm no longer going to look away from things that cause me pain or that I feel is abusive that's coming from somebody else. Now, it doesn't mean I get into a fight with them. It means I ask a question, even if I'm afraid to ask a question, because I don't want them to see me as like, oh, he said not he said, but I thought he was enlightened. I thought he was spiritual. I thought he was lovey-dovey. Whatever the case, whatever I'm projected onto them that I think they think about me, I'm like, I don't really care anymore. I don't care about putting more investment in what I think people think about me, that I lose myself, that I'm not loving to myself. So I sent an email, a message to a friend. It's funny, this has such a theme, but I'm using it as an example. And I didn't hear back from them for a while. And then I sent a message to kind of like nudge. It was a GIF, like knocking, like, hello. And the message came back. And the words they used kind of felt to me like, all right now, I mean, the person, if they're listening, they already know. So I'm not going to say the name. So I'm going to use the word. It's like, so the response was like, hey, that's not what they said, but I'm going to leave it out. They said, like you, I am busy creating value, creating things that bring value to humanity, something like that. And that was like, wait a minute. What's that all about? I've been busy and some other information. So that read to me as an attack. Like, stop bothering me. I'm busy. You said you're creating value. I'm doing the same thing. I'll get back to you whenever I'm ready. Now, they didn't type all of that, but that's what I perceived. And I looked away from it. This is love for self and for the person. So I looked at it, I left it overnight, and I wasn't going to say anything. It's like, I actually decided, I'm like, what, I'm done with this person, because sometimes I've gotten messages, I'm like, I don't understand. Okay. But in the morning, I said, no, I am not going to betray myself. I am not going to be quiet, all in the name of looking like the more enlightened one, or the being the bigger person, or being loving, because I had a story that if I challenged them, then that might come off as not being loving. And in the morning, I said, no. What is really loving is to love myself enough to get clarity. And I said, normally, well, I said, I can't remember exactly the word, how I used it, but basically the essence of it is, normally I would kind of let this slide and leave it and not address it. But if I annoyed you, if my message to you annoyed you, then I apologize. Then I was like, wait, just stop right there. Oh no, you're not gonna apologize, because you don't even know what happened. So I deleted that. And I said the same thing, similar things, to start the message. I said, normally I would kind of let this go, but I just made it a point not to let conversations like this go anymore. I need to know. And then Spirit gave me exactly what I needed. And I was so glad it came. When it came, I knew it. It's like, were you annoyed, upset by my message? Before I start making conclusions, let me ask a question. That is love. Loving myself enough to stand up for myself, and loving the other enough to ask them a question before drawing a conclusion. Were you upset? Were you annoyed? Were you mad? And the reply was, no, absolutely not. You? Why would I be mad at you? So whatever the story, whatever the conditioning, whatever needed to happen for me, or how I protect myself from others that came up for me to perceive the text like that, gave me an opportunity to see differently. Not just see differently, but be differently. So when you let love be, you show up differently. We do love, but before we do love, we must be love. When we be love, when love becomes our action that guides us, we become a healing space for the world. We create a new world. We create the future in the now. And there is nothing about this kind of love that's passive. It's hard sometimes. It's hard to love when it's hard to love. But the love I'm talking about, mature love. Go ahead, love. Go ahead, have the conversation. Go ahead, stay grounded and speak your truth. Even if your legs are wobbly, even if your mouth is trembling, speak your truth. Go ahead, speak the truth, even if you're the only one speaking that truth and everyone is saying it is not so. It may be scary and it will make you vulnerable most of the time, because just when you think you've mastered it, there's another level. And that love, when it's directed to yourself, you show up as a loving being. And love will correct, because it corrects us. It corrects the way we see, the way we think. It corrects our relationships. It corrects our business situation, professional situations. It corrects our parenting. It corrects our financial situation because we are choosing to see things from a higher perspective. We're transcending the human experience, not disconnected from it, but really asking deeper questions. What is here to see? What truth do I need to speak? It's not always easy. It's not always easy, but that's the call. That's your purpose, to love. And when you pray the prayer, the answer may cause you to break open. So when you break open, be there for you if nobody else can be there for you. Find the courage to be kind to yourself. Find the courage to breathe, to stop. And when you allow the love, because love is only looking for an outlet. You want more love? Be the outlet. Love is only looking for an outlet. So when the love is moving through you, flooding through you, when you become the space and the place for love to reveal itself, it's going to bring to the forefront anything and everything unlike love that is not of higher vibration. So your own fear of being judged because you're questioning somebody that you appreciate, that you love, that you care about. But don't stop there. And sending love and light and blessings to people in Puerto Rico, people in the world who are suffering, whether you call it, however they're suffering, whether it's man-made or nature-made. I saw a video of the flooding in Puerto Rico, and there was a bridge, and the water literally moved the bridge. It dislodged the bridge and carried it. If that isn't the perfect demonstration of the power of love, I don't know what is. Yes, I know that caused trauma and people are dealing with that. But at the same time, it is a perfect example of what the power of love looks like when it is in action, because you joined with the movement and allow your heart, your mind to break open and became the place and the space for love to be revealed. It is emotional sometimes, it is challenging sometimes, and that's the call. And that's why sometimes we're like, oh, no, I'll just keep my loving at this level. Because most of us don't want to go there. It's too much. He asks too much of us. And whatever we're able to give is good enough until it isn't. But when we start to see that in our individual lives, we look in the world and what's happening and we are not happy, we're discouraged, we're sad, that's a call for love. Are we going to ask? Are you going to ask somebody else? Am I going to ask somebody else to be the love that I'm not willing to be? And it sounds heavy because it is. And there is another way to make the love, the heaviness, a little bit more bearable, where you can still hold on, even if you're on that bridge and the flood is coming and it's breaking open that bridge and it's carrying the bridge, that you can still hold on and somehow you're not drowning in the force of this love. Anything done with love is the reward is in it already. The world is calling for more love. You are calling for more love. Whatever you're doing, personal development, spiritual development, help, support, maybe it's material things. What you're really asking for is more love. It's more love, the force, the harmonizing beingness of love to help you unite, to remind you that you're part of everything that you see and don't see. And the things that you want and need, you may not see it. It's available. You're calling for love to unite you with what your heart desires. And here's a thing that makes you go, what? Because I tell you, when I read this, it stopped me. I had to take a breath. So this is a book called, the title of the book is Sex and Money. It's written by a Buddhist teacher. Her name is Sherry Huber. Sherry, Cheri, Huber, Huber. And her co-author is Julia something. I just got the book and I started to work on it today. Where is it? Oh, there it goes. It's June, not Julia. June Shiver. Shiver, Shiver. Now, it's sex and money. So part of the book is about sex. The other side is about money. And what it does is a journal, without showing what I wrote. So I make sure I'm going to show it to you like this. So even if you freeze it, you can't read it. Do it upside down, because I don't want you reading my business. It gives you an opportunity to go deep inside of yourself to look at your conditioning about money, conditioning about sex. And it's rooted, the reason for it is rooted in the idea that how you do anything is how you do everything. How you do money is how you do everything. How you do sex is how you do everything. How you do relationship is how you do everything. It's all connected, whether you like it or not. So there is something that Sherry wrote here that when I read it, I was like, oh, wait a minute, hold on. Okay, here we go. It's on the section about money. And she said, I'm going to read it slow. She said, trying to change is the fastest way to stay the same. Trying to change is the fastest way to stay the same. I was like, what the flip-flop are you talking about? Just stop. Just stop right there. I'm about change. I promote change. I talk about change. What do you mean? Trying to change is the fastest way to stay the same. Once I calmed my you-know-what down and took a deep breath, it didn't even take long. I understood. Because basically, this book, on the conversation around sex, the conversation around money, it's about bringing compassionate, conscious awareness to the things that we don't like about ourselves, the things that we judge, the things that we blame. So let me keep reading. I'm going to read that again. Trying to change is the fastest way to stay the same. When we understand how we are, the process of conditioning that we have learned and lived from, and when we see with compassionate awareness what happened to us to make us the way we are now, we will already be changed. Think about that for a minute. When we understand how we are, the process of conditioning that we have learned and lived from, and when we see with compassionate awareness what happened to us to make us the way we are, we will already be changed. The very process of seeing clearly changes us. The very process of seeing clearly changes us. Changing is not a matter of doing. It is a matter of accepting. Changing is not a process of doing. It is a matter of accepting. So, how does that fit into this equation of letting love be? Accept love. Allow yourself to break open. Breathe as you go through the process. Sometimes when you allow your heart to break open, it's the sweetest feelings. Love is more than feelings and emotions. You're clear about that, right? But there's a time when your heart breaks open, when someone you love, whether it's a romantic love or friendship love or brotherly love or motherly love, when they love you and they express it and they demonstrate it, that it breaks you open, that it brings you to tears. Sometimes that love comes from your pet. Sometimes it comes from an infant. It breaks you open. It softens you. When you accept it, it softens you. Kenyatta is in the house. How are you doing, my sister? What, my sister? I was talking about you the other day, but not on my podcast. Maybe when you and I talk, I'll tell you what it was. It was when you were crunching and smacking, but I'll say more about that when we talk in person, if we do. But anyway, when you accept love, let love be, when you allow it, it breaks you open, and sometimes it's the best feeling. It makes you cry. It leaves you with no words. And sometimes when you accept love, it activates something painful in you. It reveals to you that you're not where you want to be, when you think you should be. It may reveal to you that you're flipping up. But yet, love will keep reminding you it is okay. It is all right. I will lead you. I will guide you. I am the way. I am the truth. I am the one. Because I am one with the one. Love will remind you that I and the Father, I and the Mother are one. Because love is all there is. This is even beyond Jesus. Jesus was one example of a representation, the representation of what love is. You are a representation of what love is. The question is, how much love are you going to allow? The call, the request is to be in a place of acceptance, compassionate acceptance, compassionate awareness. When you look at the things that you're struggling with, when you look at somebody that gets on your nerves, and you bring conscious awareness to it. It may not be in the time when you're having a disagreement. If you set the intention, you will know the right time. And the right time doesn't mean when you feel like, okay, I'm ready now to be compassionate. The best time to be compassionate is when you feel like you're not ready, when it's too painful, when it's annoying, when you're frustrated, to just stop and have some compassion for yourself, for what you feel, for the pain that you feel, the struggles that you're going through. And in that painful place, be willing to look at the bigger picture. What you're doing to yourself and what was done to you. And I would even say never love someone in a way that you neglect yourself. That's not love. That's conditional love. Compassionate awareness. Creating a space of acceptance is unconditional love, where you can love yourself even though a moment ago you felt like you were about to take somebody to hell and leave them there. And on a personal level, which is what I often emphasize, the podcast is about being you. Why is it important for us to do the work for ourselves? Because then we can show up in the world differently. We can be different. And sometimes you may decide, I don't want to talk to that mother, father, God being. I don't want to. I can't. I don't have it. But don't stop there. Because when you withhold love, you're not withholding it from them, you're withholding it from yourself. And what's the quickest way? One of the quickest way to love somebody you can't be with, don't want to be with, can't stand, you hate, is to simply say, it's hard for me to see them as a loving being right now. But what I know is that person, my brother, my sister, my ex, let's take it up a little. Take a deep breath. The person who abused me, the racist, the oppressor, the colonizer, each and every one of them is a child of God, is an expression of the Most High. They come from the same place you came from. Whatever their experience was, whatever their conditioning was, they end up being the way they are. I don't know what to do for them, but the best way I can love them right now is to recognize, to remember that they're a part of God, part of the divine. At the very least, if that's all you can do, that's good enough. And why are you doing that? Because it sets you free. It sets you free, and it stops you from adding more of the hate that you experience through another. Stops you from adding more of that to the world. It's so easy to be judgmental and critical about others. It's so easy. Ashley said all of it. I want to know what it's like for us collectively when we allow all of the love to be present, to present itself. Yes. And the beautiful thing about love, we don't need the whole of love to show up. Just the drop, just an ounce, just the mindset, the perspective to be kind to yourself is enough. Just a shift in perspective to be compassionate and become aware that I've been dealing with this shit for a long time. I don't know how to get myself out of this. That's enough. That's enough. We don't even need everyone to be loving for love to be transforming. Love is always transforming and is available for those who are open. So breaking open is part of the process to get into the transformative vibration that's already happening. Love is love is love. Love is always loving for the sake of loving. Love is loving right now. And when you open your heart to love, you feel the transformative power of love. And you realize you don't even need your cousin who got on your goddamn nerves, who stole your things because they weren't drugs. You just full of so much love that you're not even thinking whether you should give it or receive it. You're in it. You're so full of love, you're full of yourself. People look at you and say, what's wrong with you? People talk about love, but when it comes to being, accepting the love, I don't know about all that. What the world needs is love. Cliche. Yeah, you just gotta be loving. I watched a broadcast yesterday. I'm smiling because I'm not going to give those of you who you catch it if you catch it. I watched a broadcast yesterday and they were talking about loving and loving this. And I'm like, please. Many reasons. One, because of how I view the world and feeling like, yeah, that's you just words. I don't see it in action. Your words means nothing if you can't demonstrate it. You can't tell me about love if I don't see it in your action, whoever it is. My love means nothing if I'm not demonstrating it. I can't be talking about love if I'm not demonstrating it by allowing that love to transform my own challenges, my own pain, my own suffering. Suffering and pain and struggles is part of life. If you're in this human body, you're going to experience it. It doesn't make you less spiritual. It doesn't make you less Christian, less Muslim, less whatever. But it will keep you accountable to say, how can you release some more love into this area of your life, this job that you're doing, this car that you hate because you want another one? How can you allow more love? Love means nothing if you're not demonstrating it. You won't even believe in love if you're not allowing yourself to receive love. It just sounds like a great idea. Yes, even while you neglect yourself, you can do something as an act of love, but you cannot really get the benefit that comes with loving if you don't open yourself to it. Because the only love you feel that you will experience is the love that you're allowing to come through you. So yes, when you do something from a place of caring, of kindness, of generosity, to give love, to give a gift, you experience it. And when you open yourself to the love that you're given, it really doesn't matter if they got it or if they thank you or not. If you give from a place when you don't even care if they thank you, oh, that's next level. We're not always there. Sometimes we are, sometimes we're not, but it doesn't make us less loving. It just means we're a spiritual being in a human body. We're governed on a physical level by conditional way of being. We've been conditioned. And I'm not going to tell you to throw away all conditions because it's necessary. Your ego is necessary. There's folks who want their ego to die. Okay. But your ego must be spiritualized by your love. When your ego is serving your spiritual nature, it's a different conversation. Yes. Yes. So I shared earlier, okay, that was for me. I shared earlier that because what I'm going through today, I feel very vulnerable. And I wasn't, from an ego perspective, I wasn't sure if I wanted, well, I knew I was going to do the show. I was a bit nervous about doing the show, yeah. And I had a thought like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done the show. That was me coming from my egoic mind, being fearful, a lack of love, making up stories, futurizing how it may go, who's going to listen, what's going to come up that I might not be in alignment with, because I might feel like I'm not quite demonstrating that. But truth is, there's only one of us here. So I had that story going. It was quick. But what I just heard, when your ego is spiritualized, this is the experience that I'm having. Yes, with the fear, it was there. Also, my relationship with the divine is so rock solid. No matter how challenging my life is, I can hold on to that. There are things that's happening. I'm like, why is this happening? I'm frustrated. I'm sad. I'm mad. But I'm not discouraged because that my roots, there's a connection that I can't even explain. So the conversation we're having is because my ego in this moment, sometimes it may jump out, is spiritualized. So I'm able to share from where I'm sharing from because my ego is serving my spiritual nature. If my ego was serving itself, I'll be stumbling on myself internally. I'm like, oh, you shouldn't have said that, correct that. You shouldn't have done the show. It would be very messy. That's right, Kenyatta. Ego is necessary. I want to read this quote before I go so we can grow. That's not the quote. But I had a subtle awareness, a nudge, an insight that I would need to share, but I didn't pull it up. I want to search it. What's it called? What's his name? Can't remember his name. If you can love. What's the name of this author? Let me see if it's here. I got some of my old documents to read. And those of you who remember, you can remind me. It's somebody. It's a New Thought teacher on love. He doesn't exist. He's made his transition many years ago. I think it's an Irish teacher. Oh my God. How can I not know forgot his name? Oh, I think if I scroll down, hold on, bear with me. Oh, I might even I hear it. Emmett Fox. Emmett Fox. I'm going to release the show with this conversation, which is just perfect. Hey, Kenyatta, you on YouTube now. When I read this, it always brings me to tears because it touches me at such a deep level, as I shared earlier today, about love for me touches me at such a deep. It's like there is an inner understanding, an inner knowing, a deep knowing of what love is that it just touches me so deep. So let's see if I can read through this. And Jackie, who is listening, I'm going to read it without my glasses. Thank you very much. See, Jackie was making fun of me. No, trying to read something last week and I didn't have my glasses on. Let's see. Love is my glasses. So Emmett Fox on love. Let's just take a breath because I already feel the power of it. The power of love is. Anyway, take a breath. Take a breath. Share the show. Like it. Subscribe on YouTube. That's all part of it. Because my ego is spiritualized, I can say that without feeling any way. No way about it. It's like, yeah, it's a request. It's an invitation. All right, let's talk about love. Emmett Fox, a New Thought teacher, metaphysician. He's made his transition a long time ago. There is no difficulty that enough love will not conquer. Let me see if I can get through this. No disease that enough love will not heal. No door that enough love will not open. No gulf that enough love will not bridge. No wall that enough love will not throw down. No sin that enough love will not redeem. It makes no difference how deeply seated may be the trouble, how hopeless the outlook, how muddled the tangle, how great the mistake. A sufficient realization of love will dissolve it all. If only you can love enough, you would be the happiest and most powerful being in the world. That's Emmett Fox. And it touches me so deep because I feel like human beings, we're not loving enough. Yet we can. Not just yes, we can, but we can. There's no need to mistreat each other. There's really no need to mistreat ourselves, to terrorize ourselves, to abuse ourselves with our thoughts, to justifying why we feel guilty, to justifying why we feel shame. A sufficient amount of love will dissolve all of it. What that looks like, I can't tell you. But what I can tell you, I know beyond knowledge, beyond the life that I lived on this planet, that when you love enough, it will transform you. It will transform you. Your presence itself will light your path. You will find the courage to keep moving even when you're afraid. You'll find that you're still encouraged when stuff is happening and you just sometimes attempted to give up. And if you're there, let your light shine so bright that you draw men and women and children unto you so that they are transformed. Let love be. When you're breaking open, just call the people you need to call to support you on your journey. don't be afraid to ask for help. And even if you're afraid to ask for help, ask for help. Whether instead of keep pushing, stop and rest. It may be uncomfortable. You may not know what to do now that you're resting. Call a friend to help you be accountable to yourself. All that we're seeing in the world that breaks our heart in a very, very painful way is because people are forgetting to love. People don't want to love. They stay in their head. They stay in their ego. They're trying to be right. They identify more with a label than with love. They identify more with power and greed and money and status than the common humanity. You don't have to understand how people are showing up in life, whether they're gay, whether it's a woman, whether it's a man, whether they're transitioning, whether they choose to not use the pronoun of he, she, and they using they. You don't have to understand it. Just love. Love enough to say, I don't understand it, so I'm going to keep my conversation out of judging them because I don't understand it. And yes, Kenyatta, feel free to borrow it. We have to spiritualize our ego. That's all that is necessary. A spiritualized ego is a perfect marriage. It's a perfect marriage. When your ego and your spiritual nature comes together, oh my God, you become the one that others are waiting for. Don't wait for anyone to come back and save the world. You are here to save the world, and you start by saving yourself. I love and appreciate you. And I thank you for being part of this conversation. I give thanks for the work that you're doing. Many of you that are listening, that are watching right now, I know what you do. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being clear about what you're going to do and what you're not going to do. The video that I have on IG that I mentioned earlier, if you're on IG or not, I think you can still get to it. My account, lifecoachade.com. Go there, check it out. And it's a sister demonstrating what healing looks like. Like the minute you say you want to heal something in you, that healing, that trauma is connected to your mother's trauma, to your father's trauma, to your grandparents' trauma, to your great-great-grandparents. So the healing you're doing is not just for you. When you love, you're healing the past and the present. The love you allow today heals those who came before you and heals those who come before you. Those who are gonna come after you, should I say. And she was using the analogy of nature. The nature of healing is interconnected. The nature of healing is interconnected. And you are interconnected with those who came before you, those who are going to come after you, whether you like it or not. And it's time to release this show. If you're feeling inspired to be a representation of exchange of energy in the form of money, I am on PayPal, Cash App. I was going to say something else. I don't even know. It was like something else. I was going to say Cash Adams. I don't know what that is. PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo. It's PayPal is Adeanifowose, ADEANIFOWOSE, or Google me. Cash App is the #, not $, #, Life Coach Ade, and Venmo is Adeanifowose. You're welcome. You're welcome, Kenyatta. You're welcome. Thank you for being here. And for those of you who have a podcast, thinking of having a podcast, and you're looking for a podcast hosting site, one that will give you more than you need storage space, will make sure that you're in all the podcast platforms and have different rates. Check it out, libsyn.com, LIBSYN. If you use my promo code, ADE, which is ADE, you will get at least a month free. If you sign up today, you will get the whole of today, what's left of this month and next month. If you sign up on the 2nd of any month, you get that month free, and then the following month you get that free as well. Libsyn.com, the promo code is ADE, ADE. Make sure you use that. If you decide to go with them, or if you're sharing it with somebody else, make sure you give them the promo code or they get nothing. And those of you who listen to me, who used to listen to me on Ricky's podcasts and still listen to Ricky, know that my appearance is limited. I don't know when next I'll be back, maybe once a month. I don't know. There's a lot of shift and change that I'm going through, so I won't be there tomorrow night or the night the week after. But when I'm there, you will see me there. But check out Ricky's podcast. It is so fulfilling, even though it still has my picture on here. So fulfilling, soulful songs and conversations. To find out Ricky Byers broadcast, go on YouTube, youtube.com, Ricky Byers. Ricky.com, no, youtube.com, Ricky Byers. youtube.com/Ricky Byers. There you go. I got it out. What else do I want to tell you? Dr. Naeem is in the house. Said he got here late. I like that. Said got on late, but got lots of love. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Dr. Naeem Akbar, for what you do in the world, for the seeds that you planted in us all, in the form of a book and talk and everything that you do. And I know you may be like, that's not why I'm making, don't just, no, we want to give you your flowers while you're here. The seeds you planted has been harvested, and it's coming out through me and others who have benefited from your work, from your consciousness. And for those of you who, wherever you are, whatever you're going through and dealing with, if you had a breakthrough, aha moment, if you're challenged and you want to join with me for a transformational process. When I say transformation, it's beyond coaching. It's going deep. It's using that analogy of when you uproot something, the roots are connected to other roots. That's my work. I call myself a shadow worker. Let's go to the invisible. And you don't have to do more than you're willing to do. Your spirit won't allow it anyway. My work is deep work. So if you're ready, available, willing, want to show up for you, for your life, for love, lifecoachade.com, lifecoachade.com. I am complete. I am here. I am now. Make sure you join me for the bonus episode next week. Dr. Bertice Berry will be joining me. Season 4 would have ended today, but we're going to have a bonus episode with Dr. Bertice Berry. And if you want to know more about her, find out more about her, go to her website, berticeberrynow.com. I love you. I bless you. I appreciate you. And I thank God for you. Whatever you do, I'm inviting you to do 2 things. Multiply this consciousness. Multiply it by applying it, by using it. And if you don't know how, check out lifecoachade.com. Send me a message. I'll send you my Calendly link, and we'll talk and we'll work together. And the next thing I want to invite you to do is always, 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 as many times as you can. Maybe sometimes you forget, but let it be your guiding light to be who you are and be true to yourself. Peace and blessings.